Good morning. It's wonderful to see so many faces out there. Mom would be so happy that the church is full. So a few weeks ago at work, somebody I work with said they saw a shirt and it made them think of me. And the shirt said, "I'm not bossy, I'm aggressively helpful." And I said, yeah, I get that from my mom. And so I'm sure it's no surprise to any of you that she put this whole service together. So the bulletin, everything, she was very clear what passages she wanted read. Father Ron, she wanted him. So she was very clear what she wanted. I was not part of the bulletin, so hopefully she appreciates what I'm about to talk about. But we talked a lot about Mom always wanting to be in control. She very much had the motto of if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. So you can imagine in December of 2020 when we heard the news about her cancer, it knocked us all off of our feet a little bit, I would say. It definitely was not part of her plans, but we approached it right away with, hey, we're going to make this the best time that we have, right? And my sister reflects on the year, my sister Giovanna. She said as she thinks about the last year that we had, what comes to her mind is a song. It's called Seasons of Love. It's from the musical Rent. And specifically the lyrics, 525,600 minutes, how do you measure a year in the life? And I think for us, we measure the year in miracles and in joy, The first miracle was that she actually had a tumor that could be surgically removed, and it was. She didn't have any side effects from that surgery. She didn't have paralysis. She could talk. She definitely still had her personality. And then the joy of that, when she finished her radiation treatment and she rang that bell, and that was kind of the first milestone. The miracle that she really didn't have a lot of side effects. She had some fatigue, but you hear some of the side effects that people have with chemo, and she didn't have that. And she was able to be very independent until the last few months of her life, and that was a miracle. And then, of course, the joy of that awesome celebration in August of last year. I'm sure many of you were there, but a true celebration of life. Where people from all walks of life that she had touched over the years came to see her. We estimate probably over 300 people were there. And she stood the whole time and talked to everybody and hugged everybody and laughed. And it was just a really, really wonderful time, And then the miracle that her servant heart, she was able to still minister. She loved the congregation at St. Albans and going every week that she could. And having Eucharist and just ministering to people. And then as well, even through Caring Bridge, the platform that we use to keep people updated, she loved her writings there and to share with people. And what a huge blessing that was, that she was able to do that almost up until the end. And then really just the joy of having time with family. I think I've said this many times. I've spent more time with my parents in person in the last 14 months than probably the last 14 years combined. And it's been a wonderful year. And, I got home about a week before Mom passed. And the night I got home, all my siblings were there. Dad obviously was there, some nieces, a nephew. And my nephew Joey came up to her at the end of the night. He was getting ready to go home. He gave her a hug. She was at that point in a hospital bed in the living room, and kind of put his head on her chest, and at that point she could still move a little bit, so she put her hand on his head, and he said goodnight, and he said I love you, and asked how she was feeling, if she was happy, if she was sad. And it took her a little bit, about 30 seconds to a minute, and she responded, and it took a lot of effort for her to respond. You could tell, and her tone was very gruff, and she said, I'm happy, I'm hugging my big boy. And those were the last words we heard from her. But how wonderful that it was words of love. So we're sad now. And I remember from a young age, Dad always saying, well, you're sad. We're not sad for her. We're happy for her. We're happy that she is no longer in pain. We're happy that she is in heaven. And she is up there dancing and filled with the Holy Spirit and just whooping it up, right? But we're sad for us because of the void that it leaves, you know? And for me, though, I think it is beautiful that we have such sorrow because we had so much joy and so much love for her. And those two things really can't exist independently. So even in our sorrow, we're full of love and joy for Mom and for her life. And it really is a wonderful thing. And that's what I keep clinging to, and that's what I keep telling people to cling to when we get sad, that we should just be thankful we had so many wonderful years with her, and especially this last year. One thing that she definitely would want today to be, though, is a celebration. So we can have some tears, but after the service there is going to be a luncheon. We would invite everybody to attend. And during that luncheon, please share with those that you're sitting with, you know, your wonderful stories about Mom. How she touched your life, how she made you laugh, how she probably told you to say please too. So, you know, she would want that laughter. She would want today to be full of joy and not just sorrow. Okay, so please, everybody, if you could stay, we welcome everybody. I want to share one last thing. It was somebody I work with, they sent to me. And as soon as I read it, I thought of Mom, and it's probably how I'll always think of Mom. There are individuals so present that even in their absence, they are present. We see their image in the periphery of our vision. We hear their voices advising us, and we feel them close to us to guide us. I think no matter how long I live, that's what Mom will be to me. Thank you.